Our football captain was straight until he publicly kissed me. You know he's straight, right? Liam's voice pulls me out of my daydream. I've been pacing around my room for the past 15 minutes trying to figure out what to wear at Hunter's place. Not that it should matter. It's just practice, right? But it feels like a big deal. I toss another hoodie onto my bed, my nerves creeping in. Yeah, I know. I sigh, half annoyed and half resigned. And yet, you're going to his place tonight? Liam asks, raising an eyebrow. He's giving me a quizzical look that screamed, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" I stopped rummaging through my closet and flopped down on my bed next to the growing piles of clothes. Yes, I mean, it's not like anything's gonna happen. He's Hunter, you know? Everyone knows he's straight. I'm not delusional. The words feel heavier than I expected. Saying it out loud just makes it sting a bit more, but I shrug it off. Liam pushes off the wall and walks over, sitting down beside me. Dude, I'm just worried about you. I mean, I get it. You've had this massive crush on him forever, but I don't want you to get your hopes up and end up getting hurt. I look up at him, and for a moment, I feel that flicker of doubt. What if I'm setting myself up for a heartbreak? I know Hunter isn't into guys, or at least he's never shown any sign of it, but that doesn't stop me from liking him. I've liked him for so long that just being close to him feels like enough. I'm not getting my hopes up, I say, more to convince myself than Liam. I know where I stand. He's straight, and nothing's going to happen. But I don't know. I'm just happy to be around him, even if it's just as a teammate. These practice sessions, they're the only time I really get to hang out with him. So yeah, maybe it's stupid, but I'm not gonna pass that up. Liam is quiet for a moment before shaking his head. You're such a sap, Milo. I chuckle, knowing he's partly serious. I can't help it. Hunter's been so nice to me. I'm not great at soccer, but he's patient and spends extra time helping me. It feels like I matter. Liam frowns. But what if you're reading too much into it? I don't want you to get hurt if he's just being friendly. I sigh, thinking about the what ifs. I get it, but I like him too much to not take this chance. Even if nothing happens, being close to him is enough for me. Liam doesn't say anything for a minute, but finally nods. Alright, just don't get your heart shattered, okay? I smile weakly. I'll try, but deep down, I know that might not be something I can promise. I couldn't feel my legs anymore. We've been practicing for at least 3 hours, and I'm pretty sure I've sweated out every drop of water in my body. But it's worth it, just to be here. Hunter looks completely unfazed though. Like, running drills in the heat isn't even a thing for him. His shirt clinging to his body, showing off every line of his muscles. He looks like some kind of Greek godlike. Seriously. And here I am, looking like a drowned rat, panting like I've just run a marathon. Hunter jogs over, his hair damp from sweat, glistening under the lights from his massive backyard. God, he's so effortlessly hot. I'm barely keeping it together. We've been training on his private field behind his house. Yeah, his private field. I knew Hunter was rich, but this is next level rich. His house has its own pool, a huge yard, and more space than I'd ever know what to do with. I keep glancing at it when I think he's not looking, just trying to wrap my head around how big his life is compared to mine. Break? Hunter asks, giving me a little smirk. He's not even breathing hard. Of course he isn't. Please, I gasp, half laughing, half dying. I bend over, resting my hands on my knees. I think I'm about to collapse. He grins, jogging up to me and tossing me a water bottle. I catch it, barely, and take a long gulp, trying not to focus on how he's standing so close to me now. He's radiating that effortless charm, and I swear, even sweaty and exhausted, he looks like he just stepped out of a magazine. We stand in the quiet, with only our breathing and the chirping of crickets around us. I glance up and catch Hunter's gaze, making my stomach flip. He takes a step closer, his hands brushing against mine as he reaches for his water bottle. That tiny, accidental touch sends a jolt through me, like electricity. I'm trying to play it cool, but inside, my mind is a mess. He's right there, and we're alone, and he looks so ridiculously good right now. Then, out of nowhere, I slip on the grass and stumble right into him. My chest collides with his, and his hands instinctively grip my arms to steady me. I gasped, and for a moment, we were so close I could feel his warmth. "Whoa, careful," he murmurs, his voice low. Our faces are inches apart, and his breath brushes against my skin. I can't think or move. It feels like the world has stopped. Our eyes locked, and the air around us shifts. There's something heavy in his gaze that makes my heart pound. I hold my breath, feeling the tension between us. For a brief moment, I sense something deeper. Then he glances down at my lips, and my mind short circuits. Suddenly, he pulls back, clearing his throat. "You okay?" "Yeah, I'm good," I reply. But of course I was not. I'm so screwed. How the hell did I even end up in this situation? The first time I saw Hunter, I knew I was doomed. It was the first week at school, and I was already feeling awkward, trying to blend in. I was walking past the football field when I noticed a group of guys playing. And that's when I saw him, Hunter. He looked like he belonged in some sports movie, tall, athletic, with pitch black hair that was messy in that perfect way. He had this natural confidence, like he didn't even have to try to be cool. He was all focused, eyes locked on the ball, and every move he made was smooth, like he wasn't just playing football, he was owning it. I couldn't stop watching him, the way he ran, the way he controlled the ball. It was like he knew exactly what he was doing without even thinking. Then, out of nowhere, he did this incredible save, diving across the goal to block a shot, and everyone cheered. I think my heart skipped a beat. He got up, brushing the dirt off his knees, flashing this easy, confident grin, and that was it for me. I didn't know his name back then, but from that moment on, I couldn't stop thinking about him. Hunter, the new guy, the guy who made my stomach do flips without even knowing I existed. I've been crushing on Hunter for 2 years now. Ever since that first day, I saw him playing football like some kind of pro. Sure, we'd talk a couple times since then, but only in passing. Small stuff like a quick hey in the hall, or when we were stuck in the same group for a class project once. Nothing major. He was always friendly, always polite. But that was it. Just small talk. And I guess that's where I screwed myself over, because for some reason, that made me like him even more. I mean, it wasn't just his looks, though let's be honest, the guy is stupidly good looking. It was the way he carried himself, confident but not arrogant. He wasn't one of those cocky jocks who thought they were better than everyone else. Hunter was different. He actually seemed decent, and that made my stupid crush even worse. For the longest time, I've been watching him from the sidelines. Literally, every game, every practice, I'd been there, pretending I wasn't looking but totally stealing glances whenever I could. But watching wasn't enough anymore. I wanted more. I wanted to talk to him, be around him, maybe even get to know him for real. That's when the ridiculous idea hit me. Join the football team. I knew it was a long shot. I can't even kick a ball straight half the time, but I figured, why not give it a try? If it meant I could be closer to Hunter, it was worth a shot, right? Besides, Hunter was the captain now. If I managed to join the team, I was sure to get some contact with him. The day of the trials was a complete miracle. I still don't know how it happened, but somehow, by some freak accident of the universe, I actually managed to score a goal. I was as shocked as everyone else. It was one of those lucky moments where I just closed my eyes and kicked, and bam, the ball went in. I'll never forget the look on the coach's face. He seemed half impressed, half confused, like he couldn't believe what he just seen. And just like that, I was on the team. But as it turns out, miracles don't happen every day. Ever since that fluke goal, I've been struggling hard. During practice, I'm basically useless. I can't keep up with the drills, my passes are sloppy, and every time I try to take a shot, it's like the ball has a mind of its own, and it's definitely not listening to me. It's embarrassing, honestly. I see the way the other guys look at me sometimes, like they're wondering how I even got onto the team in the first place, but I guess I deserve it. I mean, who was I kidding? Thinking I could just waltz in here and be a football player. I wasn't Hunter. I wasn't good at this. But even with all that, I don't regret it, because now, at least, I'm near him. I see him every day at practice. We're on the same field, part of the same team. Sometimes he even throws me a good job or a keep at it when I don't completely mess up. That's enough for me now. Being close to him, even if I'm the worst player on the team, feels like I've won something. It's stupid, I know, but just hearing him say my name or even glance my way makes this whole football disaster worth it. Who knows? Maybe I'll even get better, or at least stop embarrassing myself. But until then, I'll keep showing up, if only to steal a few more moments in Hunter's orbit. We've been practicing for a few weeks now, getting ready for this big game against another school. Everyone was getting better. Everyone, except me. I was still struggling with the basics, kicking, passing, even just not tripping over my own feet. But I kept at it, hoping maybe I'd improve, eventually. And then one day, while we were practicing, I noticed something different. Hunter was watching me, like really watching me. Not in that usual, this guy can't kick to save his life kind of way, but more focused. I felt my heart skip a beat. He's noticing me. That was all I needed to push harder. I focused, kicked the ball with all I had, and it wasn't terrible. I mean, it still wasn't great, but for me, it was progress. I kicked again. Not bad, maybe I'm getting better. After practice, I saw Hunter coming over to me. My heart started racing. This was it. He was going to tell me I'd improved. I was ready for praise, for maybe a pat on the back, or, dare I dream, a hug. Milo, he said, all serious. I tried to play it cool. Yeah? What's up? Hunter paused for a second, like he was choosing his words carefully. I've been watching you, and, well, I don't know how to say this, but you're just not getting it. I blinked. Wait, what? You've been trying really hard, but you're still struggling. Like a lot. And honestly, you might cause problems for the team if you keep playing in the game. It felt like a slap to the face. All the air left my lungs in one big whoosh. I stared at him, my heart sinking to my shoes. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. I stammered, trying to find something to say, but my brain was stuck. In did he just tell me I suck mode? Hunter looked at me sympathetically, which made it even worse. Maybe you should consider, quitting? Quitting? Me? I mean, sure, I wasn't good, but quitting? That was low. My whole body was screaming embarrassment, and I just wanted to disappear right there on the field. But instead of running away, I don't know what came over me. I was all dramatic. No, I blurted out, surprising both of us. I'm not quitting. I'll do better. I will, you'll see. Hunter raised an eyebrow. clearly doubting my sudden burst of confidence. Are you sure? Absolutely, I said, even though, deep down, I was dying of embarrassment. I'll get better, Hunter. Just wait. He looked like he wasn't convinced, but nodded anyway. Okay, if you say so. I nodded firmly, trying to look determined, even though inside I was cringing. As he walked away, I stood there, my face burning, realizing I had just promised the impossible. But quitting? No way! Even if I was the worst player out there, I wasn't going to let Hunter think I gave up that easily. Now, I just had to figure out how to actually get better. I was still trying to prove myself on the field. I was practicing every chance I got, even going to the field alone after school. I kicked the ball against the wall, ran laps, and did drills, but no matter how hard I tried, it felt like I was still stuck in the same place. And just when I thought I was making progress, Hunter talked to me again. "Hey Milo," he said. His voice was serious, and I felt a pit in my stomach. "Hey, what's up?" I tried to sound casual, but I was nervous. I could already tell this wasn't going to be good. "Listen," he said. "I've been thinking, why don't you just give up?" I was taken aback. Give up? Seriously? I mean, I know I'm not the best, but you're not getting any better. You're still struggling during practice, and it's not helping the team. I think it's best if you just quit. His words hit me like a ton of bricks. I couldn't believe he was saying this again. "But Hunter, I don't want to give up. I need more time to improve. Just give me one more chance." My voice literally went begging. Hunter sighed. "You're really persistent, aren't you?" "Of course I am," I said, feeling a rush of desperation. "I'll do anything. I'll practice as much as you want. Just let me show you how I can get better." He paused for a moment, and I could almost hear the gears turning in his head. Finally, he spoke. "Okay, I'll give you one more chance, but we'll do it my way." "Yes, thank you!" I almost shouted, feeling a rush of relief and excitement. "What's your plan?" "I'll give you private lessons at my place," he said, and I could barely process what he was saying. Private sessions? With Hunter? This was like winning the lottery for me. "We can work on your kicking and passing, just you and me." "Oh my god, yes! That's perfect! I couldn't believe my luck. I promise you won't regret it. I'll work hard and I'll improve so fast, you'll be amazed." "Alright, calm down," Hunter chuckled. "We'll start tomorrow after school. Just be ready and bring your A game." "I swear, I will. Thank you so much, Hunter." I felt like I could just float off the ground. This was my chance to get closer to him, to really show him that I wasn't just some hopeless player. For weeks now, Hunter and I had been practicing together, and I could feel myself improving. I wasn't a pro yet, but I could finally make some decent goals during practice. Hunter seemed impressed, and that was all I needed to keep myself on. Tomorrow was a big day too. I was going to accompany the team as an extra player. Just being a part of it felt amazing. After practice that day, we headed over to Hunter's pool to cool off. The sun was shining, and the water looked refreshing. I couldn't contain my excitement, so while Hunter lounged at the edge of the pool, I paced back and forth, chatting away. "Did you see that goal I scored earlier? I mean, I actually aimed, and it went in." I could hardly believe it. And then there was this other time when I dribbled past two guys. Can you believe it? Two! I'm finally getting the hang of this. I was practically bouncing off my feet, gesturing wildly with my arms as I talked. "Yeah, man, that was great," Hunter said, grinning. "You've come a long way." "I know, right? And tomorrow, I'm gonna be there with the team. I'm so ready for this," I said, totally pumped. I was so wrapped in my excitement that I wasn't paying attention to where I was standing. One moment, I was dramatically acting out my goals, and the next, I lost my balance and splash! I fell right into the pool. Water exploded around me, and for a second, I panicked. I flailed my arms trying to get my bearings, and then I remembered I couldn't swim. My heart raced as I kicked my legs, but the more I struggled, the more water I swallowed. The last thing I saw before everything faded was Hunter's shocked expression above me. Suddenly, everything went dark. When I finally came back to my senses, I was lying on the pool deck. I could feel the rough ground beneath me and hear someone shouting my name. Everything felt hazy, and I tried to move, but my body wouldn't cooperate. I felt weak and heavy. I could sense someone hovering over me, and a moment later, I felt hands gripping me. "Stay with me, Milo. You're gonna be okay." Hunter's voice cut through the fog in my mind. I wanted to respond to tell him I was fine, but I couldn't get the words out. I felt like I was fading again, and the world slipped in and out of focus. Then, I felt Hunter's hands on my chest. He was pressing down, and panic surged through me. I wasn't okay. I was drowning in the pool, and now I was being pressed into the ground. Just when I thought I'd slip away again, I felt Hunter's lips on mine. Wait, what? I felt this rush of warmth, like electricity sparking through me, and I instinctively kissed him back. It was instinctual, a reaction to the moment. I could hear his breathing hitch, and then everything snapped back into focus. I woke up with a gasp, sitting up abruptly, my heart racing. Hunter looked just as shocked as I felt. His eyes were wide, and his mouth was slightly open. "You're awake, thank God." I blinked, realizing what just happened. Did I just kiss Hunter? My face burned with embarrassment. I'm so sorry, I stammered, trying to process everything. "I didn't mean to." "Just rest." He cut me off, his voice suddenly serious. "You need to take it easy." I wanted to explain to tell him that I wasn't trying to make it weird, but he was already standing up. "I'll send my driver to take you back to your dorm. Just stay here." And just like that, he walked away, leaving me behind. I sat there, stunned and horrified. What had just happened? Did I really kiss him? What must he think of me now? I put my head in my hands, feeling the weight of embarrassment crash over me like a wave. This was not how I imagined things would go. Tomorrow was supposed to be about football, not accidental kisses and near drownings. What was I going to do? The football match was intense, way more than I ever expected. The stadium was packed, and the energy in the air was electric. Both teams were going all out, and it felt like the game could go either way. Every time I glanced at the scoreboard, it was clear we were tied, and it was nail-biting closely. I sat on the sidelines, cheering my teammates on, trying not to let my nerves get to me. I'd been on the team for a while now, but this was different. This was a real game, and everyone was counting on us. Hunter was out there playing like a pro, and I wished more than anything that I could make him proud. Then, disaster struck. One of our players went down hard after a foul from the opposing team. The referee blew the whistle, and the crowd gasped. I felt my stomach drop. It was clear he couldn't continue. The coach rushed over, and we were all waited to hear what would happen next. "Milo, you're in," the coach called. My heart raced. Me? The stakes had just gotten way higher. I couldn't believe it. The adrenaline surged through me as I jogged onto the field, but my heart pounded louder with every step. I was nervous. This was a big moment. The rest of the game continued, and my teammates did their best to keep us in the game. I tried to stay focused, but all I could think about was how unprepared I felt. We managed to hold our ground, but the pressure was mounting. We were still tied when the final whistle blew, and the game went to penalty shootouts. The crowd was wild. They cheered for both teams, but the tension was thick in the air. I could feel my palms sweating, and I took deep breaths to calm myself. This was it. This was my moment, but it felt terrifying. As the shootouts began, the opposing team took their shots, and I watched as they missed a few and scored others. It was intense, and the pressure was on. Then, I watched as my teammates take their shots, each one filled with hope and anxiety. One by one, they scored, and our team was doing great. But I still felt that familiar knot in my stomach as I realized I was up next. And it felt like the whole world was watching me because it all came down to me. My heart raced as I stepped up to the ball. I took a deep breath and focused. I glanced at Hunter, and he nodded, giving me that encouraging smile. At that moment, everything else faded away. The noise, the pressure, the crowd. It was just me and the ball. I ran up to the ball, my heart pounding. I couldn't think about how many people were watching or how much was riding on this shot. I just had to kick it. I connected with the ball perfectly, and it sailed past the goalkeeper, hitting the back of the net with a satisfying thud. Yes! I shouted, my heart soaring. The crowd erupted into cheers, and my teammates rushed to me, celebrating like we had just won the championship. Then, out of nowhere, Hunter came running towards me. My heart stopped as he closed the distance, and before I knew it, he pulled me in and kissed me hard. My eyes widened in shock. The cheers of the crowd faded into the background as I kissed him back, feeling the rush of excitement and disbelief. I couldn't believe this was happening. In front of everyone, Hunter kissed me like I was the hero of the game. And for a moment, nothing else mattered. I was on cloud 9, filled with joy and adrenaline. When he finally pulled away, we were both breathless, and I could see the surprise in his eyes. "You did it, Milo. You scored the winning goal," he exclaimed, his smile radiant. I was still in shock, but my heart was racing for a different reason now. "I can't believe I actually did it," I said, laughing in disbelief. The team surrounded us, celebrating our victory, but all I could think about was how amazing it felt to have Hunter right there beside me. The game brought us closer, and I couldn't wait to see where this would lead. After the game, I was buzzing with excitement. The victory felt incredible, and I couldn't believe I'd scored the winning goal. But more than that, I was riding high from the kiss with Hunter. It felt like a dream. I knew I had to talk to him, so we decided to meet at the practice ground later that evening. As I walked over, I could see Hunter already waiting, leaning against the goalpost with that relaxed smile of his. My heart raced. He looked so good, and I felt a mix of nervousness and happiness bubbling inside me. "Hey Milo, great game today," he said, his eyes sparkling in the fading sunlight. I know I was supposed to thank him and start the conversation slow, but all that came out of my mouth was, "I thought you were straight." He raised an eyebrow, looking amused. "I never said so." "But everything about you said it," I blurted out. "You don't look the type." Hunter laughed, and I felt my face flush with embarrassment. "I didn't know I was supposed to look a type," he teased, his smile widening. I'm sorry," I stammered, feeling flustered. "Relax, I'm just messing with you," he chuckled. "But seriously, straight or not, I've had a crush on you for a long time. Maybe since you helped me in the library." My heart skipped a beat. This was maybe a year or two ago. "You're kidding. I can't believe that. I thought you were just being nice." Hunter shrugged, a shy grin on his face. "Nope, I always thought you were cute. And it was hard not to notice you, especially when you joined the football team." I felt my cheeks heat up. "I joined the team because of you, you know. The first time I saw you playing here, I couldn't take my eyes off you." "Really?" Hunter asked, his eyebrows raised in surprise. "Yeah, you were so focused and talented. I thought if I could just be around you more, maybe maybe something would happen, I admitted, feeling a wave of vulnerability wash over me. Hunter laughed, shaking his head. We've both been so silly, haven't we? Totally, I said, chuckling nervously. Then his expression turned serious, and my heart raced again. Milo, I need to ask you something. Okay? I felt my stomach flip. He took a deep breath, looked straight into my eyes. Will you do the honor of being my boyfriend? My heart soared. Yes, I said, moving a little closer. Our heads were almost touching, and I felt a rush of happiness. Yes, of course. Hunter smiled, his face lighting up, and then he leaned in, kissing me softly. It was gentle and sweet, and I felt like I was floating. This was everything I had wanted and more. We pulled away, both smiling like idiots. As we walked back to my dorm, I couldn't stop grinning. It felt surreal, like I was finally with Hunter. The evening air was warm, and the stars were beginning to twinkle overhead. So? Hunter said, glancing at me with a playful smirk. Are you gonna quit the team now? That you don't need excuses to be close to me? I laughed, shaking my head. No way! I'm not giving up football. He feigned a look of mock concern. Good, because as captain, I wouldn't want to lose my team's best player. After that day, Hunter and I are officially started dating, and everything felt perfect. We won several football games together, and our team became stronger than ever. With our hard work, we both got accepted into the same college, and I couldn't be happier. Soon, we'll be moving in together, ready to start this new chapter of our lives. I can't wait for all the adventures ahead. More football, study sessions, and just being with Hunter every day. The future looks bright, and I know we'll make the most of it, hand in hand, cheering each other on. The end. Have you ever misunderstood someone's sexuality? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.